Alrighty, so what I've got here is a fabricated well pump puller for next time. This piece is going to wrap, this rubber piece is going to wrap around my long radius elbow that comes out of the well hull, out of the sleeve, the casing, and I'll tighten this up, and that'll be a place where the next guy can grab a hold of to lift the well out. This is the bottom piece, the two-piece section, and this is advice for people out there who has this kind of a well. These are the two plates that fit on the bottom. This is the thing you hear about, that if you take these bolts out of the top, you'll lose this plate, both of them. I cut a slot out here. I won't get into why. I needed to sneak this into my existing system that's up and running and slide my wires in here and my safety rope. I just tried to lift on my well pump, and it was putting too much strain on my pressure tank, the distance of the fittings and everything. So I decided, okay, I'm not installing these. But what I wanted to share with you is what I did to prevent that problem again in the future. See how this bolt can tighten up? It's supposed to tighten up on the top plate, sandwich the gasket, and bind up against this bottom plate, smush out the gasket around the perimeter, and give you a real good seal. It's too high risk for me right now to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang these up inside the well house for maybe one day. Perhaps, knock on wood, the pressure tank goes bad, then that'll give me a reason to retrofit these in. So let's go check things out. Oh, and I forgot to mention I got my well casing data sheet here. Stamped on it, all the information. Installed 825, well depth 225, pump depth 175. I've got where I purchased it at, and then the other nameplate data that they gave me as far as the electric motor, I believe. I'm going to hang this up inside. That's for future me. Alright, so I got these twisted together so I can just hang them on the cinder block wall. But there's these bolts, the hardware. I just drilled holes in them, in the hardware. And I put what I call a U-nail. I guess that's what they're called. But this will prevent you from losing this piece again. Which I think is beneficial. And it's not that hard to do. Just modify your existing bolts and put everything together. And I'm using the nails because they're thicker. Cotter pins may not corrode over time, but cotter pins could be used. But also, if someone puts some brute force on it and tries to keep going, they'll shear off the cotter pin. So this might be the better choice for longevity. Okay, so that'll be the hanging spot for the bottom plates that go on the bottom side of these top plates here. The top plates are just holes that pass through. There's a gasket underneath that. It's about a 1/2 inch thick or so. And the bottom plates line up those 4 holes, mounting holes. The bolts go in the top and thread through and come into these guys, which draws that, which will draw the gasket toward the top, smush the gasket out on the inside of the well casing, and keep things in a tight bind. Right now, all I have is my top plates and my gasket on, so I'm just going to suck it up. I'm not lifting on this well pump like I just tried to do. I reset up my engine lift. and it looked like it was putting in a tremendous amount of pressure right here on this elbow, and more specifically right at the fitting that goes into the pressure tank. I don't know if you caught it or not, but I added PSI, add some air to my pressure tank, and I've got a 40-60, so I got the pressure tank to about 38 pounds. Let's see what I can do about getting my engine lifter installed right here. Engine lifter, my well pump puller. Hang tight. I'll try to stay out of your way. Alright. Let's first find out if this is even going to be feasible. I built this without even doing any realistic measurements. I just thought it should be alright. There's a nut that took off on me. Set that right there. Set that right there. I got a saddle that I modified here. What's barely gonna work. I think I'm gonna have to tighten it to form this upper bracket and then back off the nut and slip in something to protect the pipe. I think that's what I'll do. I'll tighten this down a little bit, and that'll bend this upper thin bracket, and then I'll loosen it, and maybe I can sneak my shim in there, or I might have to use a different material. I don't want this metal on metal right here. Okay. There we go. Scoot that to about right there. Honestly, if I had the budget, I would have ran my wire inside of a PVC pipe, like thin wall, inexpensive roll of plastic water line, and taped it to the big water line itself to protect the wires. Let's see if that's bending. Should be. That should be bending that. Yeah, it's bending the upper plate. That's what I was hoping for. See how much stud sticking out. There we go. Alright, I'll pause you guys and I'll keep tooling on this. So I was able to get that rubber gasket in there. Get you all tilted. You can see it right here. Now I'll just hope I don't get in your way as I tighten this down a little bit. Now all the pressure is being put on the rubber. That'll be something the next guy can use to assist in getting the pump out. Yeah, I like that. It's putting down pressure on the rubber, which is gripping the pipe. Yeah, that's good enough. There we go. Good and solid. All right, so this is going to have to be the conclusion of the well pump swap, but the plot has thickened on my well pump. So my resistance readings on my pump have changed. The old pump. I almost forgot. Gotta put my tag on. Well pump data. Wonder if I can display this somewhere. I would say I could probably try to do it right like there. Let's see. Is that just too crazy? Nope. That's not too crazy. I can stay right there. Looks like it's a little malformed. Alright, that'll work. That'll work for the next guy. Let's see if it touches the ground. Nope. So there's my well pump tag.